Good evening, everyone. I'm Fred Brink. I'm Mayor Pro Tem for the City of West Richland, filling in as chair this evening while Brent Gary is on travel. So it is 6 p.m. and I'd like to call the April 15th meeting of the West Richland City Council to order. And before we get started, I'll ask Stephanie to read the hybrid meeting ground rules and then call roll.
Tonight's meeting will be held in person with a virtual meeting component. If you are participating virtually, please make sure the name shown at the bottom of your video view is the name you would like the Mayor Pro Tem to use. You can change this by right-clicking on the three dots in the upper corner of your video view and clicking Rename. Audience members present in the council chambers will be called upon first during public comment periods. Those participating remotely should virtually raise your hand if you wish to speak. To virtually raise your hand, click on Participants and then click on Raise Hand. If you are participating by phone only, press *9 to raise your hand. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. All right, roll call. Richard Bloom?
Here.
Fred Brink?
Here.
David Fetto?
Here.
May Hayes? Kate Moran? John Smart?
Here.
Ken Stoker?
Here.
And as Mayor Pro Tem Brink stated, Mayor Gary is on travel.
Council, may I have a motion to approve the absence of Mayor Gary?
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, motion carries. And it's my pleasure to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Council, we have an agenda before us. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Have motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. We have one presentation this evening, and it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Kevin Lewis to our council meeting from Visit Tri-Cities, and he's going to present the 2024 Visit Tri-Cities annual report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. It's great to be with you. Thank you, Council, and thank you for all the good work you do in our Tri-Cities communities. We're really appreciative for the support that we have from West Richland. Dave sits on our board, and it's good to have him on that board too. So I'm Kevin Lewis, CEO of Visit Tri-Cities, and we like to get out and about, just make a connection at least once a year with the cities to kind of present and let you know what we're up to. And so that's what we've got here tonight, our annual report. Next slide. Just as a background, I know you probably know most of this, but we're a 501c6 organization, a destination marketing organization. We have three real sources of funding. One is a percentage of the lodging tax. So when people stay in a hotel, there's a lodging tax that's assessed, and we get 1% of that lodging tax comes into our budget from the cities that have hotels. West Richland doesn't have a hotel yet, but we're working on that, right? The second area is a tourism performance assessment. So this is an agreement that was legislated back in 2004. The state authorized this, where communities could get together and you could create these tourism promotion areas where you get all of the hotels in that area to agree to charge an assessment to the guests, and then that money goes towards marketing and promotion of tourism and visitors. And so we've done that in the Tri-Cities with hotels of 40 rooms or more, and they assess a fee of $3 per night per guest. So that revenue, again, comes in from the visitors from outside. We're not taxing our locals, but it's coming in from outside and helping to support the promotion and marketing of the destination and some of the development that goes on as well. And then the third is through partners and sponsorships. And we have a number of those, some major sponsors of people who, organizations who feel like our mission aligns with their mission, and some of the things that we're trying to do align with that. And so if you go to the next slide, you can kind of see the breakdown of where that money, how that money breaks down. So about 70% of it comes in from those tourism performance assessments. Then about 20%, just over 20% from the city contracts that we have for the lodging tax, and then 10% from the sponsorships. That's where we get our total fund. And 2024 is about 3.5 million, just about. And then the chart on the on my right, I think it's on the left as you're looking at it. I'm backwards here. Shows you the breakdown of where we spent that. So we spent about 22.9 million last year. Most of that, about 70% of it, in marketing and convention and sports development, bringing those convention groups and sports groups into the area, and the other some administrative costs, and we run visitor centers and things like that too. Next slide. We feel like Visit Tri-Cities is really our whole purpose is to be a catalyst for community vitality. You build a place that people want to visit, and it becomes a place where people want to live, and people want to live there, then they want to work there, and they work there, they invest there, and that cycle continues. And so by bringing in those dollars from the outside, by introducing people to our community who may not have come here before, we get that revenue that starts to churn that positive economic cycle. And so we're just a component of that economics, and we integrate really closely with the communities and try to do the things that the communities are trying to do, try to support and help the communities achieve their goals. We have five strategic pillars that we work from in our office: strategic sales, effective marketing, collaborative destination development, proactive community engagement, and then innovative and meaningful operations. And everything that we do has to align in one of those pillars. As we could get pretty spread out in the things that we do if we just did all the things that people thought we might be able to help them with. And so we try to make everything align to those pillars. And you'll see as we go through how that aligns. The next slide shows some of our accomplishments in 2024. And quite honestly, 2024 was really a dynamic year for us. Pretty remarkable, some of the things that happened. Of course, you guys are familiar with, we had great support from West Richland on bringing in the Ironman 70.3 triathlon. And that event brought about $7 million into the community, $7 to $7.5 million into our area. We also hosted the World Horseshoe Pitching Championship, so a completely different type of event, but still people for the Horseshoe Tournament came in from about 40 states and 4 different countries. So bringing in people from around the world into the area to experience our area, many of them for the first time. Our surveys showed that a huge percentage of them came in for the first time, had never been here before. And we heard that from the people that were here. They had no idea what to expect in the Tri-Cities, and they were so surprised and pleased by it. In fact, you'll see some of that in the results that I go over a little bit later on. But those two signature events become part of our strategy as we look to those kinds of activities that will introduce new people to the community and expose the great communities that we have, the great recreational assets that we have, and all of that to the world. We had an 86% increase in the number of events that our team booked last year. So a good increase there. We secured a 161% surge in positive media from mostly from those events. Because we opened this place up to a brand new audience of people all over. And so people were talking about it, and the media covered it, and then people shared that. And so the positive media that we got and the exposure from that was really significant. In the circle there, we show a 342 to 1 return on our ad investment. So because there's some very sophisticated ways you can advertise and track people these days digitally, we can see that if we send our ads out and then somebody opens that up on their device and either clicks through or links through or connects to us somehow, we have some tracking of that. But we can also, through these partners that we work with, understand whether that device then showed up in our destination and actually was in a hotel or in one of our venues. And so as a result of that, and then doing some correlation with how much people spend when they're here, how long they stay and all that, we can show a $342 to $1 return on investment for our digital advertising. So that's a pretty good investment. I think I'd take that if I were, a company and we could get that kind of a return. So we feel like we're doing a good job. We're hitting the right target of people that are interested in our area, and we help stir their interest and bring them here. You can see overall Visitors spend about 630 million in the destination each year. They make about 4.4 million trips, and that brings in about $77 million in taxes. So tax revenues increase as a result of that too. The last one there, I think, is a significant one, the tourism jobs. About 5,900 people make their living working in hospitality and tourism here in the Tri-Cities. And, you know, I brought this up when I came to the area a few years ago. I was at an economic summit, and Steve Ashby got up and talked about PNNL, and he told how they had 6,000 employees at PNNL. And I thought, man, that is incredible. That is a lot of people working for one organization, and what a great organization to have in our community. But as I see these numbers, I realize that we've got the same amount of people that are working in tourism and hospitality. And sure, they're not working for one specific business, but those are people that live in our community and buy and interact in, you know, in all ways. And so it's a big number of people that are involved in the hospitality business. So I think that's a good number. Next slide. Let's talk Ironman a little bit, because that's the fun one to talk about. There's a lot of fun things to talk about, but what a great event. 10,000 visitors came into the area with the event. We had 45 states and 20 countries represented in the race. As we looked around at our hotels, we went back and looked at the hotel revenue. The average daily rate on Ironman weekend was up 48% over the rate that it was a year ago on the same weekend. So year over year, a 48% increase in the rate. Now that's partially due to Ironman. It's partially due to the other events and activities that were going on, because what happens is we fill hotels throughout the community, the compression happens, and so then there's less availability because more people are coming, and so the rates are able to go up. The hotels are able to charge a little bit more. And so a good increase on that weekend. And then overall, our hotels experienced a 59% increase in hotel revenues. You can see over the weekend, $634,000 more in 3 nights on Ironman than they did the same weekend the year before. So that's kind of the impact of those events. That's why we like to do that. They do a lot of things for us, like we talked about publicity, but revenues, and then just introducing people to the area. Next slide. The media impact, we talked about this a little bit. Ironman 70.3 specifically, 83 pieces of PR coverage, went out to about 5.7 million views. We produced a race highlight video, which I hope most of you have seen that video. It's about a 5-minute video, but 46,000 people watched that highlight video in the first 2 weeks. It was really well received. Triathlete Magazine ranked our race the second top 2 race in North America. And then down from their athlete surveys, this stuff was really positive. This just tells you what a great community we live in. 93% of the people gave positive feedback about the event. The Net Promoter Score was 80. And if you're not familiar with Net Promoter Score, basically what it is, it's a check on whether the people that came to your event or bought your product or whatever, whether they would recommend it to a friend. And then they rank those ratings. And so anything over a 50, they put them on a scale of 100. So anything over a 50 is a really positive score to get. If you look out at companies that are scoring, you know, they're typically, well, I mean, they're really pleased with anything above 50. And ours scored an 80. We went back and checked, and the average Net Promoter Score for an Ironman event around the globe is 52, which is, again, it's a great score, but we scored an 80. I think that just tells us how well we did in putting on the event. And again, a big appreciation to your staff and the folks in your community who helped support and bring that about. I think that's what made the difference, is our people were excited about having the athletes here. They got out and cheered them. They were around, and then we have a great destination. And so we're proud of that. We also were awarded the second best swim in North America. And the 3rd most recommended race in North America. So grateful for those, that feedback from the athletes in the event. Next slide. This is just a recap of our conventions, meetings, and sports. We don't just do signature events. A lot of the stuff we do is just kind of behind the scenes. It happens, and a lot of people don't really know what's going on. But our group business, we hosted 168 groups that our team coordinated and helped facilitate. That was up 7.7%. That brought in 132,000 visitors and 35.7 million in visitor spending. All of those numbers up. You can see the revenues and everything went up. Overall for the year, our hotel occupancy, pretty, a slight increase, just 1.6 or 1.2%, I think. That's not a massive increase. And so we're looking into some of that to kind of see what, why isn't that up as high as some of these other numbers as you look at some of the other increases? But one of the things we found, and we're going to do some research into this, the Ironman athletes that we surveyed, 17% of them were staying in short-term rentals. And so as short-term rentals proliferate, that pulls, creates more room availability and spreads those people out. And that may be having some impact on the hotel occupancies. But the fact is they're still here and they're still spending their money here. We're just not accounting for it in hotel occupancies. We do see the average daily rate up 4.4% for the year, and RevPAR is a number that hotels use, revenue per available room. That was up 5.7%. And so overall hotel revenues were up 7.4 million for the year. So that still, we're on a great track there. But I think we're seeing some dilution of some of those occupancy numbers as they get out and have other places to stay. Next up. This again, some of these numbers just dealing with the media and marketing success. So 16.7 million revenue generated from our ads. We can track that like we talked about earlier. I've mentioned some of these numbers already. Social media engagements are up 184%. So people are more interested, engaged in what we're doing. We also hosted a bunch of familiarization tours. So we bring journalists or influencers into the area. We show them around and give them an experience of the area, and then they go back and write and tell stories about it. 33% of the media coverage we had came from those kinds of visits. So a lot of great work that's going on just to tell the story of the Tri-Cities and what's going on here. Next up, next slide. I think we talked about social media engagement, so I don't need to spend a lot of time on that, but we're going up in all of those areas. The next slide. Airport statistics. Now, I can't claim credit for all of this stuff, but I'll take credit where I can. The airport's been doing really well. You can see the numbers year over year from 23 to 24 continues to go up. But we did some ad campaigns specific using the Expedia platform. And Expedia can track specifically from there who books airlines from that ad campaign and who stays in hotels. And from the one campaign that we did, actually we did two campaigns, one in the fall, one in the spring and one in the fall. But the combined impact of that was 589 flights generated straight from that program and 3,700 room nights. So it's just nice. The reason I show that, it's just nice that we can actually track some of that data now. We can actually see what's happening. In the olden days in media, we used to just throw it out there and just hope somebody saw it. You really couldn't tell whether they did or not. There wasn't a lot of great ways to track, but now with digital media, we can see some of that. So it's good. Next slide. Just engagement, like I say, we're involved in destination development, community engagement. We've got representation of the West Richland Chamber, the National Park Committee, River Shore Enhancement Council, the Legislative Council, Strategic Alliance. We're involved in the WSU Workforce Development Program. Been involved at the Red Mountain Event Center and helping promote events out there. I got to go out a couple of weeks ago and ride with Mayor Gary in the car. That was an incredible experience. I loved that. And then, of course, we shared that experience. I did a little video and posted that out as one of the most watched videos that we had. So that was kind of fun, sharing the race experience. But we love what's going on in West Richland. We appreciate the development that you're doing here and the growth, and we look forward to continued growth. I know Dave has mentioned that we've got some businesses open up right out here, some hospitality type businesses, and we'll work with you however we can to see if we can get a hotel out here too, and continue to build and facilitate the hospitality growth in the area. I think that's all I've got. I got open for questions if you want to chat. I'm here.
Well, Kevin, thank you very much for the presentation. Very informative with regard to the impact that Visit Tri-Cities has had on our community. And I'm sure that this year is going to be even better with everything that's going on. But I'll open it up to my fellow council members if you have any questions for Mr. Lewis. Seeing none, I will thank you for your time
you.
tonight, and I appreciate all that you're doing with Visit Tri-Cities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate all of you. And anytime you have a question, reach out and holler. We're good. Okay, thanks.
Have a good evening. Council will continue with tonight's agenda, which consists of the consent agenda for payment of the bills, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of March 18, 2025, Resolution 18-25, resolution to set up public meeting for VACA-002-2025 Heath Richter. Resolution 19-25, which is a resolution to set up public hearing for VACA 001-2025 Wasney. And Resolution 20-25, which is a resolution to set up a public hearing for VACA 003-2025 Wasney. We also have a motion authorizing the mayor to execute engineering services contract with JUB regarding wastewater treatment plant facility plan. Motion to approve contract with Washington State Department of Commerce for climate commitment grant. Motion to approve contract with Transpo for transportation element of the comprehensive plan update. And finally, a motion to approve contract with Burke Consulting for the comprehensive plan update. Is there anyone from the audience pending tonight that would care to comment on the consent agenda? Seeing no one, I'll turn to anyone that is attending virtually, and I don't think we have anyone, do we, Stephanie?
Not have any virtual attendees tonight.
All right, no virtual attendees, no in-house comments. May I have a motion, council, to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I move to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion to approve the consent agenda carries. This is the first period for citizen public comment for items not on the agenda. If you wish to provide comments, I ask that you come to podium and state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to provide your comments. Anyone here tonight that care to make a comment? Seeing no one, and seeing that we have no one attending virtually, I'll close the citizen public comment period. We'll move on to ordinances, resolutions, motions, and public hearings. Item 8A is a public hearing and the first reading of an ordinance for a franchise agreement with Advanced Internet Service Provider, LLC. Public Works Director Roscoe Slade will present the staff report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Council, what you have before you is a draft copy of Ordinance 7-25 that would grant a non-exclusive franchise agreement to Advanced Internet Service Provider, LLC, doing business as Advanced High-Speed Internet. They applied for a franchise agreement with the city back in January to be able to construct, install, operate, maintain fiber optics within the city's public right-of-ways and utility easements. This company is in the process of purchasing Bettenarrier PowerNet's internet company. So they're taking that from Bettenarrier. And so they're looking to get a franchise agreement because some of those infrastructures for that is in the city's right-of-way. This franchise agreement it's a standard template that we use. It has been reviewed and updated by the city attorney to ensure compliance with our municipal code and insurance language that's recommended by WCIA. The initial term of the franchise agreement is 10 years with automatic 5-year renewals. Tonight is just a public hearing, first reading on it to take public comments. The applicant has reviewed it and all their comments have been addressed. So they're in favor as it's presented before you. And so no action tonight. This would come back on May 6th for formal action by council. And then there was a comment on costs. The applicant pays the administrative costs and staff time to process this. So roughly about $2,500. So.
Thank you, Mr. Slade. I will now open the public hearing at 6:24 p.m. We'll hear in-person comments. If you're in the audience and wish to speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to provide your comments. Seeing no one and seeing no one attending virtually, I will close the public hearing at 6:25 p.m. Does council have any questions that were not previously addressed in the staff report provided? Seeing none, since this is the first reading, we'll not take any action on this item tonight, and will come back before City Council on May 20th for a second reading and final adoption. We have no unfinished business this evening, nor do we have any new business, so we'll move on to the second opportunity for citizen public comment. So once again, I ask those attending tonight, if you wish to make a public comment, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and kindly limit your comments to 3 minutes. No one wishes to step forward at this time, and seeing no one is attending virtually, we'll close the second citizen public comment period. And now it's that time for staff reports and comments. Any staff members care to make comments? Mr. Slade.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Got a few things. It's been busy. I'll just kind of go down the list of some capital projects and what's been going on. If you've driven down Keene Road past Belmont, you see some work on the side of the road. That's our Keene Road Phase 4 pathway project. That's $920,000 project, with the majority of it being paid by a federal STP TAP. So under construction now, and will be complete end of May. And that will take the regional pathway from Belmont all the way down to SR 224. Other projects that are getting ready to advertise for bids in the next couple of weeks is, well, we've actually got 3 projects we're going to put out to bid that we're well over, probably total over $40 million. And I can't tell you any time that the city has ever had anything close or even going out in the same month, let alone the 5-year period. But our Well 3R project, the replacement of Well 3, will be going out to add. Also Well 2, that's located in Flat Top Park. So those will both be going out for bids to build the well building, put the pumps in, and get them operational. And then the big one that's going out to add is the SR 224 Red Mountain project, the one that we took over from DOT a number of years ago. We've jumped through all the hurdles. The right-of-way has been certified. And so that is scheduled to go to add April 28th. Bid openings May 27th. Award on June 3rd, with construction starting July 7th of this year, and tentatively being complete by the end of 2026. This is contingent on, right now, the project, they've retained the Connecting Washington funds from 2015, is still in the House and Senate. So it's on both budgets. We just need it to stay there and have the governor sign it. And so that looks good to move forward into construction. I will be bringing more information as we get closer to construction on how the project's sequenced, and what residents can expect for detours and whatnot. It's pretty well laid out to minimize impacts. They won't be tearing up 3 miles of roadway all at once. So, or impacting the Veterans Parade or messing with the raceway event. So we've got that all figured out. The other part of it is it looks like we'll find out more when the state's capital budget's adopted, but our request for $300,000 for grant to go towards a generator, backup generator for this facility, is initially listed. Again, we'll see if it stays as they go through the negotiations, but it's listed on both the House and the Senate side. So kudos to our 8th District legislators. So that's Senator Matt Banky, Representative Stephanie Bernard, and Representative April Connors. It's just amazing, given the state of our budget, that they were able to hang on to our money. And then I think it helps too that our city's split, and we've got the 16th district on the north half of the city. So we got Senator Dozier, Representative Clicker, and Representative Rude. So we like them, so we push them forward. So great job. It's helpful. I know some Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Brink's been to Olympia, Councilmember Moran. I think Councilmember Fetto was up there. It's very helpful when everybody speaks one voice and it makes it easier to sell these projects. But we're not out of the woods, but that's, positive for those. The other thing that's going on is Benton Franklin Council of Government had their call for projects. Just did the presentation last week. This is where we were asking for a little over 3.8 million to widen Keene Road to 4 lanes from Bobbin Range to Belmont. Big project. It's like a $6.1 million project. We're asking for 3.8, and I will know whether we're successful with our efforts on April 24th. So that would be something needed to keep up with the traffic. Anybody that's tried to get out on Keene Road at certain times, it's getting busier. So this is needed. Love to take it all the way to SR 224, but just too much. But if we can get it to Belmont, that'll be a big help. And then the other item was we had signed last year an agreement with Richland School District and the Alexanders about looking at extending sewer from the I plant across Keene Road and up to the backside where the future high school is located. It's like a $3.3 million partnership where the school district and the Alexanders are picking up the biggest portion of it. Our portion is $1 million RCCF grant through Benton County, and that was approved. I've got the draft agreement that'll come to the next council meeting, and then we'll move forward with completing the design and another $3 million of sewer that actually brings sewer through all that light industrial property. It'll bring it to the multifamily on the south side of Keene Road and provide gravity sewer to, if and when that high school is built, it'll have gravity sewer for all the play fields, and also get gravity sewer to the raceway property that the city has. So look forward to that. So it's been busy last month. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Mr. Slade. Any other staff comments? I will then turn to council comments. Councilmember Bloom.
Actually, my question's for Roscoe. The right of way, how close will this right of way encroach on the old RV shop on Van Giesen? I mean, are they going to walk out the door into the traffic? It's pretty close.
Which property? I'm sorry.
Next to the mosquito control.
Oh, it goes up. He'll have sidewalk right outside his front door. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So where people used to pull off in the front, that won't be a parking spot there.
I mean, well,
He'll have driveways
won't
to,
have, so they won't make 20-foot or something setback at all, right?
in the commercial. I don't think there is that setback. You can go right up to the right of way line.
Okay.
What's that? Yes. Eric's teaching me how to be a planner on this.
And the second question was, I heard through Ben Franklin Transit that through BFCOG, you're having part of the TAC is meeting to discuss transit. Was that of any use?
So we did our call for projects and had the TAC meeting presentations at Transit, Ben Franklin Transit, last week, and they had their open house for their long-range transit planning. And so we put the two together to increase the number of people there and the different agencies. So they got good feedback on that plan that consultant's working on their long-range plan that they're developing. And they fed us, Councilmember Bloom. So that helped with attendance too.
They
Councilmember
feed
Hayes.
well.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Just wanted to get on the Veterans Cemetery and what's going on with Olympia and where we're at. It's pretty exciting times. We have the new report out for April. And the main thing with that is that through the House and the Senate, it was approved for the $500,000 with the pre-design. So that was exciting. And so now we wait till April 27th and see what the capital budget holds, but we're pretty positive with all that. So that part's really exciting. And what we're working on right now is from the ground floor here is to assist Olympia and then get the word out I mean, the biggest thing is for us to get the word out. Thank you to the police chief. He met with me today about reaching out to the other towns, the other police departments, the other mayors, and we're going from Moses Lake to Walla Walla to Umatilla to Yakima. And the response has been very, very positive, and everybody is excited to have this come to the Tri-Cities as our home. And like I think Eric has said before, we have 2 locations down to 2, which in the beginning we had several. And so one location's in West Richland and one is in Richland. So wherever it ends up, it's just a blessing to our community as a whole, the region as a whole, that we will host this. They're looking to have 100 acres. And everything's kind of just moving along, and I'm really impressed with Olympia and with David and Solomon, Heidi, all those guys. They just keep pushing and pushing, and so I think that's a huge thing for our region. So I do have some flyers over on the page if you want to give out flyers at all about the latest one and where we're at with that. We also are working with different events to have booths at those. So we will be at and I have a flyer for it, the USS Triton on June 14th is out at the Port of Benton. And so they're going to do a dedication and all that. And they've asked the Veteran Cemetery to be there. So we have people from Olympia coming down for that event. We have people from Olympia coming down for Hogs and Dogs. And we'll have a booth there to really push the Veteran Cemetery, and then also for Cool Desert Nights. IBEW has been gracious to say, come under our event, our tent, we'll help you out. So a lot of positive is happening, and I'm just grateful for everybody's input and what they're doing. And the other thing that we're really pushing that hasn't been out here too much is the veteran license plates. And I have some flyers there, because $28, if they sign up under this plan, $28 will go back toward Tri-Cities Veteran Cemetery if you do with your license plates. So there's money coming out from all over. As an example, Medical Lake, they bring in about $650,000 just on the license plate money to help fund once the cemetery's up and running. So, and that's yearly. So it's very exciting. Everybody's standing behind it, from cities to counties to just veterans. So I just encourage us to support it and stand behind it, since we're one of the locations that might be here. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Hayes. Councilmember Moran.
Thank you very much. Not much to report. Just between the last meeting and this meeting, I attended the Ben Franklin Council of Governments meeting on the 21st, and we have our next one coming up this Friday at the 18th. Again, it is a hybrid starting at 10 a.m. on Friday.
Thank you, Councilmember Moran. Councilmember Fetto.
Thank you, sir. Just a reminder for anybody who's got kids or grandkids, Easter egg hunt is Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. out at Flat Top Park. Lions Club will be there doing a free pancake feed, face painting. D's Donuts is going to be there giving donuts out to the kids. Tom's Coffee, Kona Ice. We've got all kinds of vendors, face painting, 9 a.m. Flat Top Park.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Fetto. And just a few comments on my behalf. Just let everyone know that I was reappointed to the Washington State Emergency Management Council by Major General Welsh as AWC's primary representative. This is my third two-year term on the council. Really looking forward to providing whatever expertise and assistance I can to the development of emergency management plans within the state. I'll also be attending the Energy Community Alliance Conference, which is taking place at Idaho Falls next week. I will be attending with Mayor Gary and Community Development Director Mendenhall. All costs are being paid for by ECA. There is no cost to the city. I'm even more pleased to say with participating in that meeting. And then lastly, for the benefit of directors and council members, the AWC, Association of Washington Cities Annual Conference, is being held this year in Kennewick, as many of you may know, at the Three Rivers Convention Center. So it is occurring from June 24 to June 27. I encourage everyone to try to sign up and attend, even if it's just for one day. It's a conference that I think will be very rewarding professionally. I've been to it last several years, as have council members Fetto and Moran. And since it's in our local area, should take advantage of that opportunity. And that is all I have. Thank you. One more. All right, Councilmember Bloom.
On the 19th also is cleanup day, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay,
Yep,
and so I
thank you.
wanted to add that the mosquito control will also be doing fire drive.
All right.
What? Rimless tires.
All right. Thank you all tonight. It's been a pleasure chairing this meeting. We'll adjourn at 6:41.